Hello my fellow Brickheads, it is I, Galaxy of Bricks here with another LEGO video for you, and today is a set review, and it is this, set number 75154, which is the TIE Striker set, originally released on 30th of September 2016. When this hit the shelves in the UK, it retailed for $59.99. or $69.99 in the US and Canada, and it came with a piece count of 543 pieces. Now this set was the one chosen by you guys on my poll that I did on my Instagram and my TikTok, so, you know, good job guys, thank you very much. So without any further ado, let's get into today's review. So, just to give you a little bit of background into the TIE Striker, this is based around Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the TIE Striker has an official name in canon, and it's the TIE Atmospheric Fighter, because the concept of this fighter was that it wasn't designed to fly in space or anything like that. It was designed, or in a vacuum I should say, rather, if we're being very trivial about it. It was actually designed to fly in atmosphere, so this was based on the planet Scarif, which is why we have never seen one on places like Endor or Hoth or anything like that, because they didn't feature TIE fighters on the planet, whereas Scarif takes place on the TIE Striker's based on the planet Scarif, and a lot of the action takes place in atmosphere, so this fighter is designed for that purpose. It's one of the few fighters that's used by both the Imperial Army and the Imperial Navy, though it's got more of an army focus to it than it does a navy focus. Yeah, so that's the TIE Striker's backstory and things like that. If you've seen Rogue One, you'll have seen this in action. As always with my videos, we will kick off with the minifigures first, and in this case, the TIE Striker set is a very Imperial heavy, it's a very Imperial heavy set, so there's more Imperials than there are Rebels. So to kick things off, we've got this, which is the TIE Pilot. This is the 2016 version. So you've got your standard Imperial. So you've got your standard Imperial TIE Fighter torso. You've got your standard angry clone face, which was a thing with all First Order and Imperial minifigures of the time. Though I myself have an issue with this figure, and it's this: the fact that you can see the back of the head, because in reality, if this was actually featured in Star Wars, he would not have the back of his head showing. It would actually be covered up. So I don't understand why LEGO have done this with this figure when you actually don't see it on the character. I mean, it's going to be in your cockpit, but if you want to play with it, or you want to take it out or anything like that, it just kind of ruins the aesthetic for me. But again, that's just one minor qualm I have, not just with the set, but with a lot of the TIE Fighter figures that you get now, is the fact you can see the back of the head. Our second figure is the Imperial Ground Crew figure. Now, this doesn't come with a weapon. It comes with these two landing lights that you can use to, sort of direct your fighter to land, which it is featured in Scarif, and they also make a brief appearance in Solo, a Star Wars story, on the planet Mimban as well. So Jyn Erso disguises herself as one in Rogue One as well to get into the Scarif facility. So that's a nice little figure, and he doesn't come with Angry Clone, but he comes with like a headpiece and a radio. Obviously, for his concepts of his character, he will need that to direct whichever fighter or vehicle is landing, so that's quite nice. And we've got the Rebel figure for this set, because I'm going to go on to the final Imperial figure in a second. And, this is just your standard Rebel Ground Trooper He's got an Endor style helmet, which is very nice. You don't see many of them often in Lego sets. And he's also got a standard blaster with this little added metal piece that kind of, I guess, just differentiates it a little bit. Because a lot of sets don't really come with anything like that. They normally just come with a generic blaster like that. So to have this piece added to it, I guess, gives the weapon a little bit of variation, a little bit more functionality, which is a good little feature, I think. And finally, we come onto this guy. And this is the Scarif Stormtrooper, or a variation of the Scarif Stormtrooper, because you get 3 different versions of this guy in Lego form. You get one version which is a Scarif Stormtrooper captain. He came in an exclusive poly bag. I have 2 of those in my collection already, and they're really nice figures. You also get the standard version of this, which doesn't have any blue markings. It's all sort of the tan and sandy colour. They came in a previous Rogue One set with Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor from this line as well. So they're your standard Scarif Stormtroopers. This one, I believe, is like an NCO. It's like a squad leader type character. So you've got your captain who comes with the Kamer. You've got this one with the blue markings on his shoulder, and then you've got the 2 standard in the Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor set, which is very nice actually. And he comes with, unfortunately, again, angry clone, but it's a sign of the times, isn't it? 2016, when it really didn't matter much. And I think having him as one of the exclusives is very nice, and it's worth picking this set up because Scarif Stormtroopers are exceedingly rare. They didn't do any battle packs with them. They weren't featured in a lot of sets from Rogue One, only the ones that I've mentioned in this video. And I think the blaster for this guy is really cool as well. It's that nice double blaster, that double barrel blaster sort of aesthetic, and it just looks really, really cool. So if you've got this guy in your sets at home, or you've got him on your watch list, get it, because just for this guy alone, this is definitely worth the set. And now we come to the main build itself, which is the TIE Striker. And I'll just show you now the TIE Striker. Now this is quite an interesting design, I think. And not just in Lego, but in general. If you've seen the movies and you've got this as a playset, which is like the 3 3/4 inch series figures that Lego have released in the previous times, you'll see what I mean, because standard TIE fighters don't look anything like this. So this is quite a stark contrast to a lot of TIE fighter sets that they've released over the last 20 years. Its wings, however, do come up. There's a little mechanism at the back here that if you just lift that up, and it locks into place like so. And if it works properly, it should click, and then it kind of looks like that when all the wings are locked into place. And then for a child, quite good. It gives it a little bit of swooshability, so you know you can come in, you can do things with it. Adds a little bit more to the play features and stuff, which is very nice indeed, I think. I'm going to keep these in the lock position just to show you underneath. It's a very sort of simplistic build. A lot of the Technic pieces that they use for it are inside the cockpit and the rear section here. You've also got a lot of other coloured bricks within the wings as well. So that's what it looks like from a top-down view. It actually looks pretty good stood up like this, doesn't it? You know, that's never thought of it this way, but it looks very nice. Yeah, the wings themselves are one of the longer parts of the build, because the instructions for it give you each wing individually. So you'll start with one side, build it that way, and then you'll start the other side and build it that way. So if, in theory, if you have read the instructions properly, both sides should match, but they should be opposite. It may take you a couple of attempts because the instructions have features a lot of the dark pieces, and trying to understand them being put into place can be a bit difficult with the way the instructions look. But if you're not sure and you are a little bit uncertain, then get somebody to help you, because it can be quite daunting to do one of these wings on your own. Now, we'll just go into the cockpit a second, which that opens down like that. I'll show you the inside of that now. And also, it's nothing exciting. It's just a bog standard TIE Fighter cockpit, and then you just pop your TIE Fighter figure in like so. Once it gets in there, and then you put the lid down, close that up. There you go. Your pilot's in. You're good to go. You're good to start. But there is an interesting feature at the back of this set, and this is this section here, because the TIE Striker is a single-seater fighter. So this doesn't hold any minifigures. You can't put another pilot in there and have it as a gunner because there's no gun. What this actually is, and I didn't realise this was a feature because it's not mentioned on the box or anything, this is actually like a little bit of a storage compartment. So you get a radio as well, which is a fun little accessory. You get, if I can get it off, yeah, you get another blaster as well, which you can use with the pilot or you can use it with the gunner. So if you want to have your pilot shot down and he's trying to survive on a planet, that's a good little feature to have with him. Or if you want to have him so that if you're doing a Scarif mock and you want your pilot to be attacked before he gets in his fighter, and again, worth a shot. And then you also get, if I can get these off, because these were quite fiddly to get in. There we go. You also get a set of binoculars as well. So again, it adds to the playability and the features of this set. The TIE Striker itself, as you can sort of see, it looks an overly complicated build. I mean, the cockpit and the fuselage, relatively straightforward. They don't take long to do. The underside, because it's done section by section for you, so when you get your instructions, the first section is the first part, and you get the rear end of it where the storage compartment is, and the back part, and then you get your individual wings, and then it kind of just tops off at the top. There's a lot of stickers with this set, so if you've got a small child who is not sure about the stickers, give them a hand because they can be quite fiddly. I mean, stickers aren't my best point when it comes to Lego sets. A lot of my sets are quite wonky and it takes me 3 or 4 goes to get them to sort of work. So, you know, that's something that unfortunately Lego does, because I understand to print individual pieces with the colours that you need is a lot more money, and that would increase the price. Now, overall, it's not a bad little set when it came out in 2016. I kind of got back into Lego collecting 2014, 2015. I collected a lot of the smaller battle packs. I collected a lot of the individual like microfighters. There is also a microfighter version of this, which is good. I have that in my collection as well, so I might show you that at some stage as well. But when this was on the shelves, I ummed and ahed because at the time I didn't have a lot of space for my Lego collection that I've got now. But I'm glad that I was able to pick this up from Amazon when I saw it, because it's a good little set. If you like me and you like your Imperial figures and you like your Imperial sets, this goes very well as a display piece. I mean, it's got the 2 front missiles here, the flip fire missiles either side here at the front, you know, so it's got them and they just shoot out like so, as you see. It's got those, but as a display piece, it's actually very nice because it looks really good sort of with the wings up if you wanted it in a landing position, but even so, it also works very nicely when you flip the wings down like that. And, you know, as a front view, if I put it down like that on the table, it looks very nice. And display-wise, you could have it that way with all your characters at the front. You could have it on the side. I'm going to display this alongside my solo TIE Fighter, and you'll see that this, lengthwise, is longer than the TIE Fighter, but it's actually, if I was to stand it up, it would be taller than a TIE Fighter as well. So that's an interesting contrast between the two sets, is the fact that not only is this longer than a TIE Fighter, it's also taller than a TIE Fighter in terms of dimensions. This was quite an expensive set, I must admit. Because it's been discontinued, and it's been discontinued nearly 6 years ago, You can't get this for a cheap price, I must admit. I had a look on eBay, I had a look on Bricklink, and you won't get it for anything less than £85 to £90 minimum. I got this for a little bit more than I wanted to, but it was also the last one from the seller on Amazon that I got it from. So if you don't mind paying that little bit extra, then it's worth picking up. I know 543 pieces for £59.99 at the time is a lot, and even now £100 odd for something like this is a lot, but it's not a bad set overall. It's definitely worth picking up if you like Star Wars, if you like Rogue One, which I do, if you like your Imperial factions and your Imperial sets, it's definitely worth picking up. The TIE Striker isn't a fighter that I was overly interested in. I thought it looked a bit clunky, it looked a bit stupid, it looked a bit strange in Rogue One, and maybe it does. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, really. I like my TIE fighters to be the square-shaped ones, or the advanced, or the interceptor types. I'm not really overly struck on this. But as a Lego set and a child's toy, I can understand the appeal. So overall, it's a good set. It's definitely worth picking up just for the Scarif Stormtrooper alone, because he is a very nice looking figure, and the Imperial crew as well. He's only in this set and the advent calendar that was released the same year that this came out. TIE pilots and Rebel troopers, you can get them a dime a dozen, but those two are the exclusives for this set. So we're coming towards the end of the video now, guys. As I say, if you see this on Bricklink, if you see it on eBay, if you see it on Amazon, and you've got a little bit of money left and you're not too sure whether to get this, or you're not sure about getting, say, for example, the Special Forces TIE Fighter that came as part of the Force Awakens line, I would get this instead of the Special Forces TIE Fighter, because it's unique. Even though I'm not a big fan of the actual in-universe one, it's unique, it's different, it's something that is rare now. You can't get hold of this, where the likelihood is they'll release a couple more of the original fighters, not this one. And most of all, if you're a collector, it's part of a collection. If you collect TIE fighters or you collect Imperial ships, it's worth picking up, because it can complete any collection just for display alone. So yeah, that's my review done and dusted, guys. If you've got any questions, drop a comment in this comment section below. Also, get in touch with me on Instagram, which is the Galaxy of Bricks. Get in touch with me on my TikTok, which is the Galaxy of Bricks. Drop a like as well if you like this video, and then don't forget to subscribe and put the notification bell on so that you don't miss anything that I upload on my accounts, or you don't miss out on anything important to do with any of the Lego sets that I've reviewed and any of the other Lego videos that I've done. Just a quick heads up for you, there's going to be a lot more reviews coming up in the next week or so. Thank you to my employment for payday, because you've allowed me to actually purchase a few sets. I've spent quite a bit on Lego, which is pretty bad. But I am able to do 3 or 4 more videos worth of content just on new things, as well as the last couple of things in my collection alone. One of them's arrived today, which I'm really looking forward to showing you. That's one that I have been hotly looking forward to getting hold of, and a couple of others are going to come this week. So until then, guys, keep collecting, keep yourself safe, have a lovely day, and take care. Bye bye, guys, see you soon.